difficult or impossible. The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org.
Hi there, this is Jane Kearns, and for the next hour, I'll be reading from the current issues of the Dunkirk Observer on the Radio Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. And this is Monday, June the 15th issue of the Observer that we'll be reading from now, and it's on the front page is by Gregory Bacon, and it's Mayville Park paving project nears completion. Mayville. Wow, there have been a number of complaints from village trustees. Mayor Rick Siper said that paving for Lakeside Park project should be completed shortly. During the Mayville Village Board's June meeting, Siper suggests the project. A lot of progress has been made in the past 30 days. Things are looking really great. We're looking forward to that. I think he, the contractor Rock of Western New York, is on target to finish by the end of the month. The only thing he foresees being delayed is the installation of the benches and the bike racks, which have been ordered but aren't scheduled to arrive until mid-July. At both the April and May Village Board meeting, trustees had expressed concern about the quality of the work that had been done to that point. They also complained about having to pay for change orders. Siper said he would be having the village's Department of Public Works director work closely with Rock of New York, Western New York, to address any concerns raised. Siper also said that that legally the village was required to pay the change orders, and if they didn't, they could face legal action, arguing they were justified. During the Tuesday's village board meeting, officials approved a change order of $39,900 and another change order of $50,017. In addition, the board approved a decrease in change order for $4,017 for supplies that did not need to be purchased. That still is a little short of what the total is. That's my comment. And then on page 3, all change orders were unanimously approved. So far, all the change orders have totaled around $85,000 more than the original contract. The original contract with Rock of Western New York was for $399,000 to improve the landing plaza near Chautauqua Bell, site furnishings, and install the rails on the park. Of that amount, $339,000 was for the landing plaza, $35,000 for the site furnishings, and $25,000 for the trail work. Some of the first problems had to do with ash that was discovered while digging in front of the Chautauqua Bell for the landing area. There were also old railroad ties that were uncovered that had to be removed. The village trustees complained that the ash should have been predicted if they had also questioned the quality of the work earlier in the spring. During the June meeting, none of the trustees commented on the work done at the park. Rock of Western New York was also contracted to install trails in the park, which ended up being paved instead of other material. The next step is installation of a kayak launch. It was announced in the June meeting that the village had received a $25,000 grant from the Chautauqua County Partnership for Economic Growth, as well as a $20,000 grant from the Chautauqua Regional Community Foundation. The village board authorized going out to bid for the kayak launch. The original estimates were for more than $100,000. Siper said they had scaled the project back down to make it more affordable. He said the village is required to install the kayak launch due to the original $675,000 grant they received back in 2023. I think they're suffering from all that's happened in between 2023 and 2026. Again, my comment. The next one is Night for Honors Certificates, Concerns at Dunkirk School Meeting, and that's by Matt Stafford. It was a night of celebration at the Dunkirk Board of Education's June meeting, with notes of concern injected at the end. District officials honored lengthy lists of athletes and employees at the meeting. The session was moved to the Dunkirk High School auditorium to accommodate all the honorees and their supporters. The Dunkirk Board's meeting are always well attended, but the crowd was large even by their standards, with around 150 people in the audience. Athletic Director Carl Jarrell handed out the honors for scholar athletes. He said they displayed outstanding commitment to balancing the demands of athletics and academics. The students embody what it means to be a marauder. Nevertheless, he sat down with some mild frustration because he was still holding a big bin of certificates. The majority of the scholar athletes skipped the board meeting, understandably finding better things to do on a sultry June evening. Rebecca Leone, the district's director of academic programs, offered a presentation called Charting the Course, Instructional Leadership and Excellence, end quote. Several teachers got certificates honoring their development of a training course for recently hired educators. More teachers were recognized for developing training courses in the areas such as early childhood education and K through 6 reading. The school district went on to honor 23 retiring employees. Officials announced tenure for Sarah Artieda, an English teacher, as a new language teacher. As Superintendent Brian Swatland announced her tenure, he commented that the meeting was all about celebration as we end the school year, end quote. However, one city resident had other ideas. Liz Abramovitz, a school 6 substitute teacher, said she was worried about certain things in the district. I don't like the fights, she said, alleging that there were many between students behind the school walls. Abramovitz complained about the school lunches, stating that they seemed smaller recently. She also alleged that the Board of Education members and district administrators rarely visit the schools. I don't believe the school board nor administrators can justify what's going on unless they are at the schools, she said. Abramovitz closed with what they were basically called for peace and openness. Unity is what we have to bring back to Dunkirk, she said. Everyone remaining in the auditorium, including school board members, applauded Abramovitz as she sat down. A sizable portion of the audience had left after the session of the honors concluded. That's the end of that article, and this is the next one. Fredonia hires new teachers, and 2 more resign, by Braden Carmen. 2 new teachers will be joining the Fredonia Central School District this fall. Elizabeth Kowalski is the district's newest mathematics teacher, and Hannah Rich is the newest Fredonia music teacher. Kowalski is professionally certified mathematics grades 7 to 12 with an extension for grades 5 to 6. She studied at Canisius University with both bachelor's and master's degrees from Canisius. She's taught at several other districts prior to coming to Fredonia. We're just excited to have an experienced person coming on board, said Superintendent Dr. Brad Ziliox. He referenced the amount of experience leaving the district's mathematics department this year due to retirements. Middle school principal Jamie Pohamus added, I think Elizabeth is going to be an excellent addition to the team. We're very, very excited to have her, end quote. Rich is a recent graduate of Western New York, Rich is a recent graduate of SUNY Fredonia's School of Music, where she graduated with honors in music proficiency of several instruments. She had initial music training certification and student taught at Brockton and Bemis Point. Ziliox characterized Rich as very sharp, very enthusiastic, and very poised for someone her age, end quote. Palamas added, Hannah Rich exudes a ton of positive energy, and is passionate about music in all facets. I think she's going to be an excellent addition to the team. We're very excited, end quote. While 2 new teachers are joining the district, 2 more are on their way out. The board have recently accepted resignations from Aaron Henry and Alexi Carlstonson. Henry, a 6th grade teacher, resigns effective August 31st, while Carstensen, a special ed teacher, resigns effectively July the 7th. The board also rescinded the appointment of Emma Brown, a recently hired math teacher. Brown no longer intends to join the district after being appointed on May the 5th. Two food service helpers, Kathleen Buchanan and Joanne Ryan, also recently resigned from the district. Carrie Schaefer, teacher aide, was granted unpaid leave effective May the 11th. Kelsey Moiser was appointed a certified occupational therapist, carrying a 1-year probationary period beginning on April the 20th. Moiser was provisionally hired initially while working towards meeting the civil service requirement for the role. The district also granted permanent appointment status to 2 teacher aides. Ryan Williams, effective May the 21st, and Caitlin Christoviak, effective June the 4th. Additionally, Karen Cootie Miller was appointed as interim CSE chair with an hourly rate of $85 effective May the 22nd. 4 per diem substitute teachers were appointed by the board, including Heidi Tressler, Madison Napo, Ethan Lyde, and Oshai Gosh. 3 additional per diem substitutes were also recently appointed, including Tommy Roque, teacher aide, Yoshua Robles, cleaner, and Sophia Naker, lifeguard. 8 university students were approved for field work assignments, including Ashton Jane, Michaela Maschio, Fiona Gida, Kavina Drennan, Allison Van Black, Rylan Turnstile, and Victoria Iskra, and Ethan Smith. The next Fredonia Board of Education meeting will be on Tuesday, June the 23rd at 6 p.m. at the high school library. Silver Creek, this is the next article. Silver Creek Senior Citizens meet. This is Silver Creek. Silver Creek Senior Citizens met on June the 9th with 15 in attendance. Some of the members chose to watch the historic Big Boy steam engine come through the area instead of attending the meeting. Those at the meeting got to hear it, but not to see it when it went through Silver Creek. Secretary Lori Newman opened the meeting with all saying the Pledge of Allegiance and singing God Bless America. Chaplain Pauline Flitt read Life's Pathway and offering a blessing of the members and food. Lunch consisted of a wide variety of delicious salads. Winners of the door prizes were Pauline and Jan Palisado. The 50-50 winners were Carol Stewie, Jean Blakely, and Pauline. Wheel of Fortune lucky winners included Carol and Janice Snyder, Harry Suzuki, and Jeff Strew. Lori called bingo, and the winners were Pauline 4 times, Carol, Earl Sheeler, Elaine Hotelling, Lori Jan Jeannie, and Ruth Sheeler, and Janice. On Tuesday's lunch will be potluck. This senior group meets every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Arrive by 12:30 and call Lorraine for information at 716-785-1074. Note, the group is inviting everyone 55 years of age or older to come and enjoy the fun. That sounds very nice. Okay, now back to the front page. 8 elementary staff earned tenure at Silver Creek. This is by Braden Carmen. Several smiling faces at Silver Creek Elementary School will be sticking around for the long haul. 8 members of the elementary school staff earned tenure at a recent Board of Education meeting. Elementary school teachers Catherine Castleberry, Danielle Jakubowicz, Gabrielle Mohan, Julia Pickering, and Amanda Vetter. Special education teacher Claire O'Connor, and teaching assistants Melissa Magney and Annette Monaco all received tenured status of employment. The 6 teachers began their tenured status on August the 30th, while Matley's tenure begins September the 12th, and Monaco's begins October the 7th. The elementary school principal, Megan Radoni, spoke highly of all 8 employees at the meeting. Castleberry has been professional certification in early childhood education to birth to grade 2, childhood education grades 1 through 6, literacy birth grade 6 to literacy. Literacy birth to grade 6 and mathematics grades 7 to 9. Extension Radoni said that both she and assistant principal Josh Case learn a lot from Castleberry. She is definitely somebody that we can lean on and we talk with, especially when it comes to curriculum. We're extremely proud of her. Radoni said she's not only there for our students to learn, but she is also there for all of us to learn one another as a team and as educators. We couldn't be more proud to have her on our team. Jakobowicz has initial certification in early childhood education grades 1 through 6. Radoni said Jakobowicz creates a welcoming space for students to feel comfortable. It's a complete vibe when you walk into her room, Radoni said. She thanked Jakobowicz for all she does for the district. Mohan was Mohan has initial certification in childhood education grade 1 to 6. Radoni said Mohan creates an amazing classroom where students are comfortable, safe, and they take risks. She's a fantastic 4th grade addition and an amazing math teacher. We're extremely fortunate, end quote. Pickering has initial certification in childhood education 1 to 6. Radoni said she's just kills it in every single day. She's also fun. Her kids have such a life of learning. She welcomes everyone and anyone into her classroom. She called Pickering a natural teacher and said she had a bright future in education. Better was a professional certification in early childhood education, birth to grade 2, and childhood education's grades 1 through 6. And Radoni said she has rigorous she has rigorous expectations with a nurturing approach. The kids know exactly what to expect from Mrs. Vetter, and let me tell you what, they live up to expectations. I think they blow her away almost as much as she blows me away. O'Connor has initial certification in early childhood 1 to 6, and students with disabilities 1 to 6 also. Radoni said she creates learning out of literally anything. O'Connor utilizes cooking in her self-contained classroom to share food with the school. She just absolutely brings a life to learning, and she's appreciate every single student for their individuality and what they bring to the table. Randoni said, "That's just something that's truly in her nature. We're very lucky to have her at Silver Creek." Matney holds Teaching Assistant Level 3 certification. Melissa Mahoney is very special to our school. She just emulates the Black Knight's pride every single day. Randoni said, "Every day she shows so much love to all of our students. Not only are we very fortunate to have her as educators, but our own community is very fortunate to have her as well." Monaco holds Teaching Assistant Level 3 certification. There's a lot in our building that gets done because we have Annette Monaco. She's always the first to help, Randoni said. Whenever there's a kid, you'll find wherever there are kids, you'll find Annette. She's truly special bond that she's created with all of her students, and especially our staff. Superintendent Dr. Katie Ralston said that the tenure candidates is a really major milestone in your career. I hope that all people that are here tonight will support you, and that shows how important this milestone is. Randoni Ralston also thanked the public for its support of the 26-27 school district budget, which was passed by a vote of 341 to 122. The budget comes with a tax increase of 2.9%. I'm assuming 1,000. Proposal for a proposal for bus purchases was also approved, and Jenna Schwab defeated Martha Howard for more one open board seat. Elementary Assistant Principal Josh Case also spoke from the district's success in offering instrumental sports programs in students grade 5 through 6. The district partnered with the Champions Project Western New York so an offer could come in attendance and help the students. Basketball, soccer, flag football, volleyball, baseball/softball case issued. There's enough. Case stated that 33 fifth graders and 41 sixth graders participated in the program, which was nearly half of the student population, grades 5 to 6. It was really cool thing, and I'm really excited to keep it going to see what other sports we can offer, Case said. Also of note, an agreement regarding this regarding data privacy with our RIC1, and Risk Operations Center was sponsored by the licensed district policy, districting policy. 7613 regarding the board's role in implementing a student's individualized education program was abolished. A budget transfer was also approved. The board also approved Emma Schwarzkopf as a substitute teacher for the remainder of the school year. The resignation of modified track and field coach Johnny Burlett was also accepted. Randy Brune, 10-month cleaner, was also granted permanent status of employment, and a middle school staff member also receive tenure as well. Okay, that takes care of that. I think we're done then with the first page. We are. And, okay. For your good health, an expensive injection is indicated for prostate cancer patient. Dear Dr. Roach, oops. About 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. I chose to have a high-intensity focused ultrasound, HIFU, which ultimately wasn't successful. I was told that surgery after an HIFU was high-risk option, so I chose to have radiation therapy to reduce the surgical risk of the side effects like incontinence. Prior to the start of the treatments, I was given an injection of luprolide, presumably to interfere with the testosterone production. There was also an injection that is scheduled for a couple of months after the completion of the radiation. I asked if the second shot was really necessary and didn't get a definite answer. What is your opinion? Not to mention the cost of the first shot was $11,814, most of which was paid for by insurance. It's no wonder the insurance costs as much as it does. It can't possibly cost as much to manufacture the drug. The answer is, I can't answer your question about whether luprolide is necessary for you without knowing more about your type of cancer, for prostate cancer. For men with high-risk prostate cancer, this hormone-blocking treatment significantly improves the possibility of a good outcome. For men who are at a low risk or a favorable intermediate risk, testosterone blocking drugs aren't usually recommended. I suspect that you have a less favorable intermediate risk, where 4 to 6 months of testosterone blocking treatment is usually given. The insurance cost that you were quoted is a retail price, and the insurance companies negotiate a price that is usually much lower. Excuse me, much lower. In fact, the changes you see on a hospital bill have a limited relationship with reality. There are generic versions available for less than $200. Finally, there's a pill, Relugolix, that is cheaper and doesn't produce pain at the shot. It may work slightly better and faster. Dear Dr. Rose, this is a second letter. I hear there are benefits to taking turmeric for arthritis. Can you please tell me about it? That's signed by FR. Turmeric has shown benefit as a treatment for osteoarthritis, the kind that most people get as they age. It isn't a treatment for inflammatory arthritis, such as rheumatoid or psoriatic arthritis, which requires urgent treatment to prevent permanent joint damage. This discussion refers only to the osteoarthritis. Across many trials, turmeric has shown to have the equivalent effectiveness of traditional anti-inflammatory medicine, such as ibuprofen or diclofenac or Voltaren. It appears superior to Tylenol, even in a trial that compared the two directly. Turmeric helped most people with pain, stiffness, and activity. Although there are side effects that are associated with turmeric, they're generally mild. The most common symptoms are gastrointestinal, especially with diarrhea, but some people note nausea or an upset stomach. The risk of side effects isn't much different from people taking a placebo pill, and turmeric has significantly fewer side effects than anti-inflammatory drugs and even acetaminophen. I found a single case report of liver failure that was thought to be attributed to turmeric. Turmeric has been used as a spice for millennia and is generally regarded as safe. The active ingredient in turmeric, curcumin, is often sold as a supplement, usually with another compound to improve its absorption as pepperine, an extract of pepper. For my patients who want to try to supplement for arthritis, I comfortably suggest that they use turmeric or its extract, curcumin. In my opinion, at least 2-week trial is needed to see if there's any benefit or if there is any side effects. A planned diarrhea before and after starting the medicine can help a person see if they really are receiving a benefit. That was interesting. Food and Drug Administration seal is seen on Hubert Humphrey's building auditorium in Washington, D.C. Nara Organics recalls baby formula sold at Target after multi-state infant botulism outbreak, San Francisco. Nara Organics recalled its organic baby formula sold nationwide in Target stores and online Saturday after a multi-state outbreak of infant botulism, federal authorities said. 3 babies between 3 and 5 months became ill. 3 babies between 3 and 5 months became ill in April and May in California, Pennsylvania, and Washington after consuming Nara Organics whole milk organic powdered instant formula, which is also sold as Nara. Let's see. 3 babies. Okay, I lost my place. Sorry. And consuming whole milk organic. Okay, which was also sold on NARA.com, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration said. They were hospitalized and treated with FDA-approved treatment for infant botulism, the agency said. Infant botulism is a rare but serious illness that occurs with babies under the age of 1 whose gut microbiomes are immature. It is caused when infant consumes bacteria with spores that produce a toxin in the gut. Symptoms include constipation, poor feeding, drooping eyelids, weak muscle tone, difficulty swallowing, and breathing problems, among others. Babies who develop these symptoms need immediate medical attention. The sole treatment as baby BIG and IV medication made from blood plasma of people immunized against botulism. The Nora Organics whole milk organic infant formula make up less than 1% of all infant formula said is sold in the United States, and the outbreak does not create shortage. Does not create a shortage concern for caregivers and parents, the FDA said. People who have the formula urged to stop using it immediately. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control said in a statement, the formula is manufactured in Europe but sold only in the U.S., it's added. The CDC recommended that The CDC recommends that anyone with an open can take a picture and record this lot number and use by date and watch their infants for symptoms. Label it "Do not use" and keep it stored in a safe place away from other items that you feed your baby, just for at least a month. The CDC said if no symptoms appear after a month, use a trillion. And if after, then throw the formula away. Okay, so we have done. Okay, we've got everything here. Okay. Proposed laws, this is People's Column. Proposed law will fuse U.S. and Israeli military. Every year, the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, presents its wish list of monies for the upcoming year. Lobbyists for the defense industry submit a massive document, over 1,000 pages, that very few read in its entirety. In general, Congress subsequently enacts the law granting up to $1.5 trillion for the industrial complex. The NDAA for 2027, released May 13th, contains a proposal, Section 22(4) in the House bill, that will virtually merge the U.S. military and the Israeli military. The proposed legislation, entitled United States-Israel Technology Cooperation Initiative, calls for, quote, bilateral research and development, co-producers in weapons, joint ventures, licensing agreements, end quote, and every manner of U.S. military cooperation. While U.S. and Israel already work together on missile defense, surveillance, and intelligence systems, that huge amount of money will be okay, I've lost my track where I was, sorry. While the U.S. and Israel already work together on missile defense, surveillance, and intelligence systems, the provisions would expand every area of the defense tech, including AI, directed energy, and while the U.S. and Israel already work together with surveillance and intelligence systems, the provision would expand every area of defense, including AI, directed energy, and biotechnology. The U.S. in the numbers has made noise in the U.S. is the #1 arms dealer in the world. Historically, the U.S. has worked closely with NATO via the Defense Production Active Plan, but has never used its relationship with the buyer of the weapons. To date, the only opposition in Congress to the proposed merger comes from Congressman Ro Khanna, Democrat, California, and Thomas Mazie, Republican, Kentucky. Quote, the provision in if the provision in the NDAA to integrate and synchronize the U.S. and Israeli militaries, Section 24, end quote, intends to makes it out to I'll offer an amendment to stop it from the bill on the floor, Mike stated. But the Kentucky congressman lost his bid for re-election last month and will no longer be in the Congress. And that was by Don Harvey Mabel. Okay. Mike Pence's important new book about the USA by Star Parker. Former Vice President Mike Pence is now promoting his new book, What Conservatives Believe, Rediscovering the American Conscience. Distinct from the most stuff appearing now for the nation's 250th birthday, Pence's book is targeted not at the nation as a whole, but at the Republican Party in particular. Pence's op-ed, in Wall Street Journal discussing the book is headlined, A Republican Time for Choosing. He uses the title of Ronald Reagan's famous speech delivered October the 27th, 1964, at the Republican National Convention, which put Reagan on the national stage, and it was his initial salvo in this struggle to establish the conservative agenda as the agenda of the Republican Party. Pence is taking on a similar mission. The Republican Party faces a momentous choice. Will remain a party of conservative beliefs or follow the siren song of populism, he writes. What troubles Pence about populism? Don't know. It is progressivism in disguise, he says, end quote. Basically, is the left as the left, liberals, and progressives choose to use government activism to advance their agenda in the framework of a Democratic Party, so populists, per Pence, choose to use the government activism to advance their agenda in the framework of the Republican Party. Particulars that trouble Pence are the federal government taking ownership in private companies, using of tariffs and protectionism to interface with free trade and price controls in areas as prescription drugs and credit cards. The department from something's going wrong here. Other departments from the traditional conservatives' agenda that trouble Pence, which fit neatly under the heading of a government activism, are weakened federal government supports for traditional family values and against abortion. He is also troubled by the inclination of the populists to want the country to withdraw as a global leader and to promote ideals of freedom and limited government. Several weeks ago, I wrote about the speech given by Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas at the University of Texas, Austin, celebrating the Declaration of Independence, the signing. In that speech, Thomas articulated particularly the identical agenda that Pence is talking about: individual freedom, limited governance, and free markets. He talked about the Declaration, the principles which it articulates: all men are created equal and with God-given rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Thomas presented these as American principles, the principles that define what the United States of America is uniquely about. He defined them as American as opposed to conservative. He discussed how the progressives intentionally rejected these principles in exchange for a belief in ideas of governance, activism, and management imported from Europe. The entitlements that some people the entitlements that consume 40% of our federal budget today, Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare, are unique to the. I've lost my train here. The entitlements that consume 40% of our federal budget today, Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, use the results of this progressivism and what Thomas and Pence would call departure from the principles of the Declaration of Independence. Thomas also brought in the critically important perspective of race. Bringing race into the picture takes on the progressives. The progressives bring the history of slavery to reject the principal founding of the country, to portray the nation as founded in bigotry. Thomas argues, importantly, not so. The slaveholders used the power of the government to deny the fundamental natural rights of slaves. These segregationists use the state to oppose the freed men and women, including my ancestors. Regarding America's global leadership, the Declaration of Independence is a universal statement about rights. It talks about the rights of all men, but not those in jail, I'm assuming. Okay, regarding the America's global leadership, the Declaration of Independence is a universal statement about rights. It talks about the rights of all men, not just Americans. So if we choose to claim these universal rights, we must equally bear universal responsibilities. We cannot claim what happens outside of our borders is none of our business. Practically speaking, our first responsibilities are at home, but this does not negate our universal responsibilities. Mike Pence has written an important, and courageous book. However, its message is for all Americans, not just Republicans. Today, almost half the country, 45%, identify as independents. He must reach everyone. The Star Reporter is founder of the Center for Urban Renewal and Education and author of Necessary Noise, How Donald Trump Influences the Culture War and Why This is Good News for America by Hackett, 2019. To find out more about Star Parker, and read features by other creator specialty articles. Okay. I already read you that. Catholic Charities has a large role in the area, by Jessica Wolf. For more than a century, Catholic Charities of Buffalo has stood beside our neighbors in the most difficult moments, offering not just assistance but dignity, stability, and hope. Every day, Catholic Charities is often the first people across western New York turn to when they are facing hunger, mental health struggles, family crises, addiction, isolation, or the uncertainty of tomorrow. Today, the need is growing at an alarming rate. More families are struggling to afford groceries and utilities. More seniors are living alone and vulnerable. For many households, one expected medical bill, car repair, or a lost paycheck can spiral into a devastating crisis. In Chautauqua County alone, Catholic Charities provided hope and help to more than 14,000 people last year through programs that are lifelines for our neighbors. Services include basic emergency assistance and the WIC nutrition program. But none of this work happens without community support. We're in the final months of Appeal 2026 with a goal of raising $8 million by June the 30th. Every donation helps keep hope alive for someone in crisis. Western New York has always been strongest when neighbors help neighbors. Supporting Catholic Charities is one of the most direct and meaningful ways to do exactly that. If you or someone you love needs help, please call Catholic Charities at 716-366-3533. If you're able to give, now is the time. Our community's most vulnerable neighbors are counting on it. And that's the end of that. Okay, so let's see. We have time for. Let's see if it's Wednesday. I think the coming up things we've already passed. K9 Complex Building Effort starts in Sherman by Dave Prenat. Sherman. While Chautauqua County may always be a Buffalo Bills and Sabres County, another competition is drawing more followers than ever: dog sports. After realizing the need for a place to train dogs for competition, Christine McKay conceived the idea of creating K9 Complex, a dog training arena in Sherman that is currently under development. Necessity is the mother of invention, McKay said. I needed a place to train my dogs, and I thought if other people probably needed a place as well. Currently, the K9 Complex is an open field on Prospect Street, just off the I-90, where McKay has set up a practice space for a variety of dog sports. However, McKay just received a special use permit for a 10 by 24 pre-built shed to be placed on the Prospect Street. A permit also issued for a 96 by 200-foot structure for which Sherman Village Board approved a 15% fee reduction. Sherman Mayor Colleen Meader recommended the reduction because the permit fee would be nearly $3,000. It's a really glorified pole barn, but because it's commercial, we have to charge 15 cents per square foot, she said. McKay said she's very eager about moving forward with the complex. It's definitely exciting. Right now, it's just a big field. The vision is to build something really special. McKay said that dog sports at the K9 complex will include people and their canines at every level. There's a sport for every single person and their dog, she said. Many people have to travel a long way to compete. There's a need for people to explore the dog sports and have a place to practice. Dog sports range from the agility and scent work to fast cat and dock diving. Agility and obedience are practically self-explanatory. In agility, dogs navigate obstacle courses including jumps, tunnels, and seesaws guided by their owners. In obedience and rally, the dogs allow a series of commands to perform exercises with precision. Dock diving and scent/nose work are what the names imply. Diving requires a dog to jump from a dock into water. Competing for distance or height and scent work demands the dog locate hidden scents and follow a trail. Flyball is a relay race in which dogs jump hurdles, trigger a spring-loaded box to release a ball, return to their handler. Disc dog demands that a dog catch flying discs thrown by their owner and then are scored on distance and accuracy. Herding and tri-ball require dogs to guide livestock or large exercise balls into goals. Fast cat is akin to the 100-yard dash and track field and track. Canicross is cross-country running with dogs attached to their owner via a harness and bungee. A sport that is very popular in need of in rural areas has been barn hunt, which requires dogs to find caged rodents hidden in the bales of hay. McKay noted that the American Kennel Club and canine performance events listed additional dog sports, and while competition training is her focus, the goal of the K9 complex is to promote the connection between owner and dog. Our facility supports both training and competition, but no matter what level the animal has learned. I got that. Our facility supports both training and competence, but no matter what level the team reaches in any sport, the most important thing is the relationship between the handler and his dog, McKay said, end quote. McKay said. Let's see if there's a short something. From rockets to brain implants, here's a look at Elon Musk's vast empire. New York. Elon Musk, the world's richest man and now first ever trillionaire, controls a lot of different businesses. Electric vehicles, brain implants, underground tunnels, a social media platform once called Twitter, a rocket maker that blasted off its trading from Wall Street this week. Over time, and more of these ventures have found themselves under the name roof. Musk emerged as SpaceX, which went public on Friday. With his artificial intelligence company xAI just earlier this year, but he still holds the CEO role at several corporations today, in addition to other various executive I'm sorry. I can't do anymore. I'll finish this up, and then I've got to quit. Electric vehicles, brain implants, and underground tunnels. A social media platform once called Twitter, a rocket maker that blasted off its trading from Wall Street this week. Over time, and more of these ventures have found themselves under the same roof. Musk merged SpaceX, which went public today on Friday, with his artificial intelligence company xAI just earlier this year. He still holds the CEO role of several corporations today, in addition to other various executive titles and ownership stakes. Here's a look at Musk's vast business empire. SpaceX. Musk is CEO of SpaceX, which he founded in 2002. The company has grown far beyond rockets. It owns satellite communications service, Starlink, big source of cash for the company that generated $4.4 billion in the operating income last year. SpaceX also houses social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter, which Musk bought for $44 billion in 2022 and parked it under xAI, the maker of Grok chatbot. Both
The following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or have another print disability, which makes reading, holding a